I'd say we probably should.
Yeah, we should have moved the flag, but oh well.
That's all right.
They can look at my ass.
That's the way it works. 10 pounds bigger.
Yeah, it's 10 pounds bigger. At least it ain't 15 or 20 like yours. Is everybody ready?
Yes, sir.
I'd like to call this special meeting Newberry Township Supervisors to order. Pledge allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Some stuff was posted out there on social media today about not having an agenda. The reason there is not an agenda is there's only one thing that we're going to discuss here, and I'm going to read a little statement here before we get started. I think people are getting the wrong idea about the resolution that we are about looking to adopt this evening. This resolution only is to ask the governor and the Secretary of Health to reopen Newberry Township in York County. Nowhere in the resolution does it say that we are going to tell Newberry Township businesses that they are allowed to go against the governor's orders and reopen. We feel that not moving Newberry Township and York County to the yellow is totally unfair to the small businesses and residents of Newberry Township. Businesses need to open. Andy, could you read the resolution, please?
The resolution before the board for consideration tonight is resolution number 2020-14. It's a resolution seeking the immediate reopening of York County, Pennsylvania, including Newberry Township. Whereas on April 6, 2020, Pennsylvania Secretary of Health Rachel Levine issued an order outlining the safety measures to be taken by employees and customers of businesses which are open either as life-sustaining business or via a waiver. And whereas the aforementioned order provides common sense measures which the Secretary of Health has determined provide a safe environment for employees and customers to conduct business, and whereas the aforementioned order could certainly provide safety for all other businesses, and whereas on March 19, 2020, Pennsylvania Governor Wolf ordered all non-life-sustaining businesses to close with a vague and confusing list of life-sustaining businesses. And whereas on March 27, 2020, Pennsylvania Governor Wolf issued a stay-at-home order for York County, including Newberry Township. And whereas Pennsylvania Governor Wolf allowed businesses not on the life-sustaining business list to seek waiver until April 3rd, 2020. Criteria for such waivers was not made clear, and the list of those granted waivers has not been provided to the public. And whereas many residents of York County and Newberry Township have been laid off and or furloughed, resulting in decreased or eliminated incomes to support their families. And whereas many businesses in York County, including Newberry Township, have lost most, if not all, of their revenues, and many will have a difficult time recovering and remaining in business as this business closure continues. And whereas municipalities in York County, including Newberry Township, are seeing and will continue to see our earned income tax revenues decrease. And whereas the continued decline of municipal earned income tax revenue will most certainly result in a significant increase in 2021 real estate property taxes for our taxpayers to allow much needed municipal services to continue. And whereas Pennsylvania Governor Wolf has established a phased reopening plan which provides unrealistic and arbitrary thresholds for York County, arbitrarily bases the ability to reopen on the raw number of positive cases of COVID-19 over a 14-day period while continuing to push for increased testing, which will undoubtedly result in the increase of the raw number of positive, possibly asymptomatic cases. And whereas, given the aforementioned criteria of Pennsylvania Governor Wolf's phased reopening plan, the economy of York County and Newberry Township could remain closed for several more months. And whereas the residents and businesses of York County and Newberry Township cannot afford to have our economy arbitrarily closed for several more months without severe and permanent negative consequences. And whereas the reopening of the economies of York County and Newberry Township could allow the reopening of businesses but would not require it, thus businesses wishing to remain closed would certainly be permitted to do so, and residents who wish to remain at home would certainly be permitted to do so. And whereas our local hospitals are not seeing the significant surge previously anticipated, and most inpatient severe cases are those within the most vulnerable at-risk groups, including over 70 years of age with significant underlying medical conditions. And whereas, according to the data available for this area, the average resident of York County and Newberry Township has a very low chance of contracting COVID-19. Positive test results have accounted for 0.16% of county residents, and an even lower chance of contracting life-sustaining complications from COVID-19, and a far lower chance of dying from COVID-19. Deaths have accounted for 0.003% of county residents. And whereas Newberry Township understands that our most vulnerable residents must be protected, but also understands that the remainder of our businesses and residents must be given the opportunity to move on with their lives and be given the opportunity to financially survive this pandemic. Now therefore be it resolved that this Board of Supervisors seeks the immediate reopening of York County and Newberry Township, and resolved further that this Board of Supervisors supports the continued efforts of our state and local leaders to institute common sense safety precautions to protect employees and customers of businesses which choose to open. Resolved this 13th day of May 2020 by the Board of Supervisors of the Township of Newberry, York County, Pennsylvania.
Tony, do you want to
Sure.
look into some of the comments, please?
Yeah, before the meeting, we decided that there were so many and some of them were so lengthy that we would name the names and addresses of those who were for it and against, and that everybody's email comments will be listed in the minutes, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to read, there were 7 total that were against this resolution or opening the township and county. Stephen S. Funk, 170 Whiting Hill Drive, Edwards, Pennsylvania. Gene S. Funk, 170 Whiting Hill Drive, Edwards, Pennsylvania. Douglas Gitt, 70 Maplewood Drive, Edwards, Pennsylvania. Lori LeBeau, hopefully I didn't murder that name, 350 Roxbury Road. Sharon Delafield, I did not have an address. Brian Stetler, 135 Creek Road. And Jan Loudon, 165 Hill Drive, York Haven, Pennsylvania. There were a total of 30 emails that were sent to the admin address that were in favor of opening Newberry Township in York County. Noel Smith, 112 North York Street, Edwards, Pennsylvania. Lorraine Forney, I did not get an address. Dina Fink, 1620 Ernie Road, Dover. Tammy Riley, no address. Todd Kiefer, 1020 Stevens Road, York Haven. Sherry Kittner, no address. Misty Dunmoyer, 100 Sugar Maple and Edders. Andrea and Jim Westover, no address, but they're the owners of Trends Hair Salon. Cheryl Shaulis, 252 Rooster Lane, Manchester. Colton Gauss, manager of BAPS Speedway. Pam Dressler, 243 Pleasant Hill in Lewisberry. Michael Denk, 355 Conewago Drive, Dover. Logan Greer, 2475 Red Bank Road, Dover. Samuel B. Ryle, 30 Byron Nelson Circle in Edders. Sue Brooks, 400 Stevens Road, York Haven, Pennsylvania. The Goldsboro Firemen's Club, Carolyn Bear, 250 York Road, York Haven. Nate Lefebvre, I do not have his address. There was one sent in with Tim under Kale's dad 25 email. I don't have their address. Tammy Farrar, 20 East Broadway Avenue, Goldsboro. Brandy Lefebvre, 2485 Lewisberry Road, York Haven. Brian Lefebvre, owner of AutoCore Recycling, also of 2485 Lewisberry Road, York Haven. David Nicholson, 3050 Old Trail Road, York Haven, Pennsylvania. Jason Goodling, 3000 Grandview Drive, York Haven, Pennsylvania. Brian Rabine, 928 Pleasant Drive. I believe that's Edders. Kate Wirt, and 2965 Old Trail Road, York Haven. Stu Shank, operation manager of Dave's Auto Collection, and don't have an address. Christopher Pfeiffer, the president and CEO of C&C Repair Services, 331 Pleasant View Road, New Cumberland, Pennsylvania. Chelsea Dugan, 250 York Road, York Haven, Pennsylvania. And Corey Huggins, 3105 Old Trail Road, York Haven, Pennsylvania. Again, that's 30 emails that were in favor and 7 against. That's all I had, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. I've been informed that it might have been a little hard to hear Andy when he was reading the resolution. This will be posted on the website tomorrow if it's approved. I'm looking for a motion to approve the resolution.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion.
Could we have some discussion before that?
Sure.
Sure.
Sorry.
I'm sorry that.
I just wanted to say that I'm totally support this, and I think that the numbers bear out that not only York County, but, you know, we live in York County and our township is in York County, so it's our main concern that we should, there's no good reason why the governor cannot let York County open, because we've met all the criteria that they've set out in his Secretary of Health, and we're well below the numbers that they've set out. So I cannot understand why we are not at least going into yellow stage with a lot of the other counties. That's my comment.
Where you got anything?
Just that most people that contacted today about the reopening made points about, like, Walmart can sell a flat screen TV, but the car lot down the street can't sell a car. Walmart has several hundred people going through there in a half an hour's time. The car lot has a handful of people a week. This happened all over our township. We have plenty of car lots in our township that can't do business. It's time to reopen them and do business. If Walmart can do it, Cars can do it correctly, J&W's doing it correctly. There's no reason a small business that has a handful of customers can't do the same thing.
I agree.
I agree 100%.
You have anything?
I don't really have anything to add.
Maxine, you have anything to add?
They pretty much said everything that I'm thinking. You know, it's like the little guy is hurting, and, you know, you got big old Walmart, and there's lines. There's really no social distancing. I'm sure everybody here has been there. I was there, and there was a line all the way back through the ice cream aisle. You people were having conversations, and there's just no sense in it. And it's not fair to the little guy that's gonna lose his business over this.
I think the little guys that sell the same thing that
Claire.
Walmart sells. I think the little guys that sell the same thing Walmart sells has an issue that Walmart can sell this,
Right.
what they're selling, but they can't. You know, that's a big issue to most of them, so.
And the only thing I'm going to add to that is I talked to a paving contractor through this waiver process that the governor had, and he was granted a waiver. However, 4 other paving contractors in the township were not granted waivers, and they all do the same job. So there's really no rhyme or reason to how they did the waiver thing, so. If there's no more questions or comments, I'm looking for a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion that we adopt resolution number 2020-14.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. I'm looking for a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion, we adjourn the meeting.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting's adjourned.